There's a beautiful teaching in the Talmud, Tractate Shabbat, that says the Torah begins and ends in acts of kindness. Gemilut chasadim, chesed, which is a Hebrew word that means an act of loving kindness. And one of the reasons the rabbis make this case in the Talmud is that the last letter of the Torah is Lamed, and the first letter is Vet. And Lamed and Vet together spell the word Lev, which means heart. Kindness stands at the center of Judaism. And so our value this month, Chesed, or one of our values this month, is something that is truly central to Judaism. And on the surface, kindness seems fairly simple, right? You do something for another person. An act of kindness could be an act of charity, helping somebody out in need. An act of kindness could be helping a friend with their homework. But kindness goes even deeper than that. Kindness really emerges out of this theological idea that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. Or as Rabbi Akiba later put it, or Rabbi Hillel, said, "What is hateful to you, do not do unto another person." In other words, there's an idea of reciprocity, of kindness. We do things for others because we know in other circumstances we would need them to do things for us. We are an interdependent people. We need one another, and kindness symbolizes that interdependence. The other beautiful thing about kindness is that it's multidimensional. It helps everybody. When we do an act of kindness for somebody, it helps them, but it also helps us. It makes us feel better. There's a positive psychology researcher that said the quickest route to both short-term and long-term happiness is doing an act of kindness. Isn't that profound? And it's truly, it's deeply meaningful, not only because it's rooted in our Jewish tradition and rooted in human nature, but kindness today is often countercultural. We are not as kind as we could be. And I've thought a lot about this, and why aren't we kinder? Why don't we perform more acts of kindness as a society? And I think there are really two reasons, and these are two things to think about as we try to live out this value. One of them is a fear of rejection, of vulnerability. And I learned this when we moved to a new school, and my daughter, on the first day in the playground, went up to another kid, I think she was 5 or 6 at the time, and said, "Hi, can we be friends?" And the kid said, "No," and walked away. And of course, I was sad for my daughter. She came home crying, and I comforted her. And I thought to myself, she's probably never going to do that again, to go up to somebody and try to be friends with that person, even though 9 times out of 10 a person would say yes, and it would be an act of kindness. It would be a beginning of a friendship or a relationship. But because she got rejected that first time, she will be much more hesitant to do an act of kindness, to be open to somebody. Because as human beings, we never want to be rejected. That's part of our makeup. We are vulnerable. And so kindness exposes us to vulnerability. What if we do something? What if we offer to take someone somewhere to help them and they turn us away? Well, we may feel rejected as people. So we're not as kind as we could be. The second reason we're not as kind as we could be is because we live in a fairly competitive society. We think if we show kindness to somebody else, then we're soft, like we're giving them a leg up. But that's not really true. In a world of abundance, kindness multiplies our impact. Kindness makes more opportunities possible. It opens the door to relationships and friendships we didn't even know were possible. So wherever we are, we can try to perform an act of chesed. And in one sense, acts of chesed are kind of like how the Jewish mystics saw mitzvot. They said, the more mitzvot we do, the more good deeds we do, the more sparks of light we gather. And when we gather more sparks of light, we bring God into the world. So truthfully, the more acts of kindness we do, the closer we come to bringing God into this world. And another beautiful part about chesed, about kindness, is that we can pay it forward. When we do an act of kindness for somebody, they're more likely to do an act of kindness for somebody else. There was a movie a few years ago called Pay It Forward that kind of illustrated this idea, and it's truly profound and true. So whenever you can, look for opportunities for chesed. It's something that we can all work on, but it's something that's simple, powerful, and long-lasting.